Good morning, dear children. This is Saturday, and as I had told you that today I'm completing this unit. My English unit is all about reading stories, learning literary devices. There are so many things that we can do with our English reading. Now, yesterday I had shown you one screen recording and one poem was done. Today I am going to discuss with you what is coder. C-O-D-E-R. C-O-D-E-R. If you always keep in mind, your writing segment will become very, very, very easy. This is a palindrome, abbreviation. You can elaborate each one of this word coder. Let's begin. C. What does C stand for? C stands for collection of the ideas. Whatever I want to write, I must have some idea, and for that we need to collect the ideas. Okay. Then comes O. What is O? O is organizing that idea. How are you going to start? Which type of sentences you are going to use? This is called organization of the idea. Then comes draft. C-O-D, draft. Whatever you want to write, draft it first on a rough sheet, on a rough copy. There you can find that whether the idea that you are working on it is going properly or not. The sequence. Okay. Then comes editing. Whatever you have written, just go through it. That whether the demand is being complied or not. Okay. And then lastly, it's come revise your first draft. Okay. Means collect ideas, organize them, draft, make the rough, then edit, revise, and then go for the final presentation. So coder is very, very important for any writing segment. Whatever you want to write, article, letter, personal, professional, report, paragraph, speech, you must have this coder system with you. Clear? Okay. So yesterday we had done the poem and I had asked you to do all these exercises. Today I am going to write a letter for you people. Okay? Just see C.6. Imagine your teenager's mother who goes to a hostel room. You're shocked. Write a letter to your child suggesting the changes that you would like to make and the reasons for your saying so. And before writing, just make a draft. Right now I am just writing it for you. You can see the format very well and you are well aware of. First is your address, date, and then dear. Then it will come the body of the letter, and then last salutation, your loving one, your affectionate. Let's begin writing letter. I am simply using my notepad to write. Suppose address 102. Change today's date is now. As a mother, I'm writing letter. So I prefer dear son. Here we finished our letter writing. Now, in screen only, I'll continue with read it yourself. Normally, this read it yourself is the segment that is to be done by you. This is the very first read it yourself. Like your DIY, it is RIY. Read it yourself. Braving the odds. 10 years only and so much difference. What a loss. You must be mad, was the general comment of the family, friends, and colleagues. Giving up a teaching post now when there isn't much chance of finding another one ever. And what about all that lovely money you're earning and all those long holidays? But I had already come to my lonely decision after months of concealed suffering. I knew I could no longer continue in the teaching profession, to wake up in the morning with a fear of the day ahead and then set off to work with a pounding heart and frozen face. I had become habitual too. I had turned to tranquilizers to help me along. Tranquilizers, the pills that are taken to get sleep. It had never been as bad as this. 10 years ago, I managed well enough, and the holidays for rest and recuperation used to come round just in time. Students were obedient, respectful, and most importantly, warm. Even I am missing these days. Obedient, respectful, and warmness. Even if you people are obedient, respectful, at least you are not giving that warm touch to us. Anyways, getting back to them after the holidays was once a pleasure. But I, in common with most other teachers, am enormously self critical, and I knew now that I was no longer managing. My classes were noisy, the children were not learning very much. My attempts to cope with changing teaching methods were patchy, and I had run out of enjoyment and enthusiasm. Obviously, the children's enthusiasm and interest lay elsewhere. It was time to stop. But was it all my own failure? In fairness to myself, I don't think it was. I had plenty of ideas. I loved my subject, and by and large, I liked children. I had been idealistic, but the reality I faced was bored children, overstimulated by video watching the night before and tired out by a late bedtime. There were the children who were given the wrong food at the wrong time, who came breakfastless to the school. In the school, they stuffed themselves with gum, crisp, and sweet spot from the school canteen. They were high with hunger in the lesson before lunchtime and giggled restlessly as the smell of food from the school canteen came wafting to all floors. There were the children who were constantly testing and belittling each other. Bright, hard-working little girls chained under the pressure of peer group and advertising into assertive, screeching, empty heads. Most of them carried makeup in their pencil cases and had a magazine concealed on their desk. Then there were the ones from difficult homes, such as Simon, whose parents split up after many years together and who was not wanted by either. His tired eyes flickered all around when I tried to remonstrate with him privately. His pale face never stopped twitching, but he could bring chaos to my lessons and his sniggering and mutterings. The rudeness I had to put up with and bad language pained me. I had no redress, as the only form of punishment available was a detention, which meant facing the same obstinate plot again. Sometimes parents could be contacted and their help sought, but frequently they were as bewildered and incapacitated as we ourselves. A frequent image came before me as I lay in bed after an early awakening. The maths room after a wet break. Chairs turned over, books and orange peel on the floor. The 10th year is due for their English lesson, so I come in an attempt to assert myself and restore order. Jeremy is telling jokes, Donna is crackling, Andrew is standing on a desk and yelling out of the window. At one time, my very presence in the doorway would have been enough to ensure a partial silence. Now they give a vague good afternoon, miss, and carry on. I distribute the worksheet expensively photocopied and we try to start, but two slow girls are making noises. Yes, I can't understand this. And James is quietly reading his football magazine. Jeremy continues to tell jokes more quietly now, and Michelle bears her gum filled teeth and urges Paul to shut his face. I have been trying to create the basic condition in which teaching becomes possible, but I have failed and no longer have the stomach for the job, and that's why I am giving up. Dear children, this is the story of a teacher who has really given up on two students. Why? Because students have lacked interest. And why you have lacked interest? Because you think that you know everything. Especially with Google in your hand, you think that the whole world is under your control. But what I think that you should never forget that Google is a master which has been made by a human. Google has not made human. Human has made Google. And in every walk of life, you need teachers always and ever. I am the one to validate the fact that what Google is saying. And here I doesn't mean Priyanka Verma. It means the entire teacher fraternity. So respect your teacher, respect your elders, respect yourself. Bridge the gap between the teachers and the parents. Try to keep your demand in a decent way, and then together we'll make this place a better. Thank you. The world is over. Take care.